I don't know. So what tickled your fancy in the thing this week? Anything you saw?
Obviously, the NBA trade deadline, especially the Eastern Conference.
For sure,
So,
for sure, for
I
sure.
mean, it's a foregone conclusion. We know who's coming out of the West and winning the championship.
Okay.
However,
However,
you still got to play the games. Anything can happen. People get hurt. Um, but the East, man, those moves that those teams, the three teams, and mixed in Boston because we thought Boston was going to be the class of the East coming into this season. Those moves made each of their teams better.
right. Significantly. So when I say significantly, yeah, I know what three teams you're talking about too. You're talking about Toronto, Milwaukee, and definitely the Sixers. Like the Sixers is like
Yeah.
the Sixers was just even those secondary moves the Sixers was making was off the chain. Like picking up Jonathan Simmons and a first round and a second round. I'm thinking to myself like, is Elton Brand GM? He needs a trophy. Somebody to buy him lunch. Somebody to buy him lunch because that brother was working that thing during that deadline. But the Tobias Harris move, man, to know that caliber of guy, and I know he's good because he's on my fantasy team, and for him to go over there and not to be one, you really heard nothing about him, but you never heard anything about him being a disruptor. So it was one of those type of guys that you could say, okay, they already got Embiid, they got Butler, they got Simmons. This is a guy that you can add, and they ain't really got to worry about bringing another ego or big head into the locker room, but you put that team in a great place to succeed, man. It's ridiculous. But like I said, Jonathan Simmons in the first round, the second round. For Markelle, I can't get my shot right, folks. Now, listen.
Being able to unload folks, and I do think the chemistry was off with Jimmy Butler. I think that Embiid and Simmons struggled a lot with him on the team. I think bringing Harris gives them another shooter to play with Redick. And I heard earlier today.
Tobias.
Yeah, Tobias Harris.
Oh, I thought you said Brandon. Oh, bringing Harris. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Bringing Harris in, I think that will help. I heard they calling them the Fantastic Five.
I heard the Fanatic Five.
Okay, I heard Fantastic Five today, and they spelling it with the PH.
They ain't from though.
But I like him on the wing, shoot the ball with Redick. I think it does open up the floor a little bit more for Embiid. Jimmy Butler's the odd man out, and going into free agency, I'm like, if you can't pay them all, then Jimmy Butler is the guy that I let walk into free agency. I think Embiid, Simmons, you find a way to maybe bring Redick back again with Harris, and I think that's a very strong forward. You still got like a Simmons. I thought having Boban as a backup to Embiid is great because that dude is an absolute monster. I like what they did, but I also like what Toronto did, getting Gasol. I think that allows them to do some different things in their front court with Ibaka and Psycho, maybe playing all three of those guys together, plus Kawhi, plus Lowry. You can go Lowry, Van Fleet. Like, there's a lot of things that they can do. Gasol being somebody who could probably match up with Embiid.
Right.
I like that move a lot. And then the Bucks being able to get Mirotic and having another guy who can shoot and just play that role. I mean, that's going to be, for them already being the top team in the East right now, and with Giannis being a MVP candidate number 2 behind the Beard, I mean, like, they really got better as Boston continues to slide down the standings.
Hey, Boston better act like they want to do something. But yeah, I really like the Mirotic move. Another guy that I had for a long time on fantasy, but he started running into them injury problems. But when he gets healthy, being able to have him on the roster, possibly as a starter and even as a 6-man coming off the bench, it allows that team to do something. As long as he's not a defensive liability, which you've never really heard anybody say or talk about because he's long enough to do so at the worst, put him in the post and let him just scrap for some rebounds. But as long as he brings that shooting, it takes some pressure. I think somebody on ESPN said, it takes pressure off Giannis. It's going to cover up the fact that Giannis ain't got his mid-range jumper down. And that brings a whole another one-man man, bringing that one dynamic to Milwaukee, man. That was a gangster move for somebody who's sitting at the top of the East for sure. But yeah, at first I didn't understand the move with Gasol, other than the fact that I knew his time was probably up in Memphis. So then I was kind of like, okay, but then they started showing some footage of how he D's up against Embiid, does a real good job, and then that dude has basically he has a shot. He's not a down. Right. He can stretch. He's a stretch center. He can shoot, and as long as he hustle, and the fact that he's defensive player of the year a few years back and stuff like that, that was one of those type of quality adds to a team that's already decent. That when I say push them over the top, but will definitely put them over the top of people like Boston, like you said, that's supposed to be the class of the East, and I just don't know them dudes. It ain't enough playing time for all them dudes. It's almost like we saw Jason Tatum playing out of his mind. I ain't seen no Jason Tatum highlights yet. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not enough basketball to go around. And it's not that they are greedy or ego. It's just not enough basketball, man.
Well, I don't know about that. It may be some ego there. I mean, like you think about let's just say Rozier and Brown. They went from playing a lot to not playing at all at the beginning of the year. And the question has to be asked, what kind of leader is Kyrie? What is he doing in the locker room? Because it feels like they just don't like that guy.
Yeah.
And it feels like he don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark Morris came out recently and was like, we got to roll with who we got. We got to play for each other. We got to play for each other. Like, y'all went from Eastern Conference Finals to adding 2 All-Stars. And y'all talking about playing for each other? What's going on in locker? Kyrie talked about, man, I had to apologize to LeBron. What?
Right.
Like, so it's that kind of thing where I'm like, man, even with all the talent, and yeah, you're right. Like, there's not a lot of balls to go around. Everybody got to get touches. Everybody can't get touches. But at what point are guys just not willing to sacrifice for each other? And is that the biggest issue?
Yeah. I mean, it sucks because I love the coach. I don't know why his name slips my mind right. It's Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
Love Brad Stevens. And, you would never think that you would hear a concept of, I got too much talent, but they say too much of a good thing can be bad. It's making them sacrifice exactly what you're talking about. All the experience that those young guys had when they had to step up last year because of injury, all that stuff is getting peeled back now with limited success. It'd be different if Gordon Hayward and Kyrie came up off in there and then they were sitting at the top of the East leading by double-digit games and was just going to coast into the thing as the Eastern Conference favorite. But that's not the case. And, it's something to that Kyrie thing. I finally got around to watching Uncle Drew. And something like that, might have went to his head. I got a championship. I got the mad skills on the handles. I can take anybody on the one-on-one. I challenged Kobe. I did this. I withstood LeBron. And he could be coming in there and he can come in there with just a straight, like, my way or the highway type thing, and for lack of better terms. And then you got Gordon Hayward, who ain't 100%, and it's like he can't take the leadership role because he coming back off the men. And those other guys are kind of like, we hungry, we ready to play. We've proven ourselves already. So why is it that we gotta And I had a lot of faith in Brad Stevens to figure it out. But if them dudes don't figure out something on this second half of the season, Doc, it's gonna be a long postseason for them cats. It can be it can be short. It could be short. You see the wrong person in the first round, second round, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a lot of young guys on that team, and there may not be a lot of good quality veteran leadership outside of Horford. But it's always better. It's always better when your best player is the guy who everybody gets along with.
Right. That is, it should be no issue. Should be no issues with Kyrie.
As good as Kyrie is, he ain't Kobe Bryant, and you can't be or appear to be a pariah like Kobe Bryant was, and produce like you're not him.
Right.
So I know you look up to him and all that, but you're not him. So with that though,
okay.
Like I said, it works for Golden State. They got a lot of talent. They seem to be doing just fine.
Right.
But let's think long-term free agency.
Okay.
So given what's happening in Boston, holla at me at July 1, as Kyrie said. Is it time to show him the door? Let him walk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because so wait a minute. So if you're Brad Stevens and you're Danny Ainge, are you letting him walk?
I mean, I kind of feel like you almost have to, especially if they're not able to make some noise in the playoffs, because technically I don't need them. Like if you don't want to be there, and I can't get what I want at free agency anyway. Like I'd rather give these young guys a team. Let me do something with these picks and see if I can bring in some people that can help. Bye.
I mean, and you're right though. You're right though. It's one of them things where it's almost like I don't want a Kyrie to turn into like a Joe Johnson. When Joe Johnson had all the credentials in the world to earn whatever money he wanted, and he's just a max player that's out there floating, but not necessarily making the big enough impact on a team. Shout out to Joe Johnson. I always liked his game, but going to Atlanta making all that money, were they ever really? Until they got people like because he played with your boy he in Denver now, power forward. Millsap. He played with Millsap and a couple of other players. They had Harford. They played all together for a minute, and they stayed in the playoffs. But was it ever as him being the highest paid player on the team, looking as to be the leader, the most talented guy on the team? Did he have enough to really push them over the edge and ever compete for a championship? The answer is no. Kyrie cannot be that dude. We look at him, and then now you have to ask the question. And people used to always say this about before LeBron came back to Cleveland. Kyrie and them, they was winning 30, barely 40 some games a year, and it wasn't, so is he that guy? Now you put him on a talent-laden team, and this is what you got. You got discord. You ain't got W's, you got discord, and that ain't gonna look good because like what you're saying, when it come down to nail biting time, I'll use that phrase instead of the phrase I want to use, the nail biting time in July 1. we gonna see what somebody's gonna want to do. Now, when you said that real quick, next question. Mm-hmm. If somebody like Kyrie leave, don't forget where we was at in the general free agency talk. But if Kyrie leave, where's the best landing spot? Everybody want to talk about he going to LA, he doing this, he doing that. Where's the best landing spot?
New York, and I think he's probably going to end up. There's that rumor with him and Anthony Davis, and they tied to the hip. Look, man, that's why I can't rule out LA.
Right.
Because if Anthony Davis if LA is a team that Anthony Davis trying to get to, I can't rule out Kyrie, Anthony Davis, and LeBron. But New York is one of those spots. I think Kevin Durant is talking about. There's a lot of room out there with him going out there. He's not that guy. Like, it's very few franchise-changing type of players in the league. Kyrie's not one of those guys. I still don't think that he has 6 really good years left on his body.
So I think he's a little injury prone. He's a little injury prone.
And as skilled as he is, he's not somebody that I'm necessarily trying to break the bank for either.
I'm telling you that stuff like free agency, that your stuff, your resume get pulled up real quick. It get real black and white real quick, Doc. And people that you thought was gonna do something, we sitting up here and basically you said that Kyrie Irving is Kyle Lowry. That's what you said. That's what you. That's what because when you talking like that, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, man, Toronto gonna keep Kyle Lowry, and you always would. Great player. Does these things regardless of what he does, regular season versus what he does. The point of the matter is, at the end of the day, is Kyle Lowry talented enough to put a team on the next step? Well, obviously Toronto didn't even think so. That's why they traded away his road dog. Holla at your boy Santone. But yeah, for somebody like an upgrade like Kawhi. Now, what else was you gonna say about free agency? Because you started off saying Golden State. What else you think? Where you think Clay going?
So I don't think it's about money for him. I think it's about fit. I don't see him leaving Golden State. I think the domino with Durant will have to fall first, and just see what it at. But like, they have some of the most unassuming stars in the league.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Kevin Durant's their best player. Yeah, he can be a bit of a prick.
Yeah.
But like, they got a 2-time MVP, first unanimous MVP, who you don't hear nothing from. He ain't in no controversy. He ain't in no drama. He ain't asking for the ball. He ain't in the media giving y'all no takes. All he doing is showing up to the gym and shooting threes. Clay, I show up to the gym. I shoot threes. I play defense. Draymond, I talk a whole lot, but that's what I'm supposed to do, and I facilitate these buckets. Lord knows, whatever DeMarcus Cousins is trying to prove, he's proving it. And Kevin Durant is, I'm just the best player on the team. And it worked.
Yeah.
But when you talk about leaving, if Kevin Durant wants to prove I can win a championship on my own as the guy, he can't do it in Golden State because he's not the guy.
Right.
He's the best player, but he's not the guy.
He's not the guy. Right. It's not his team.
He could be gone. If he leaves, Clay stays. They re-sign Boogie. They prepare to re-up on Draymond, and then they bring along some of their other guys, the Loonies, the other
Jordan Bell.
No. Other guy who's getting minutes, McKinney.
Yeah.
Jordan Bell ain't even seeing the court no more.
Yeah, I just thought about that. Jordan Bell is not seeing the court at all.
In the warm.
Damon something. Not Damon Young. What's his name? It's some other Leon cat that was. But anyway, yeah, they got people in. They got people in.
All of them that's down on the bench.
Right.
They can bring them along, find a free agent or two, or bring in another rookie. I mean, like, they seem to have the perfect formula. Now, there is talk that they could try to sign all of them, go into the luxury tax, so they got to move into that new building. Got to sell them seats.
I mean, when you talk about comfort and fit, I understand that. If I'm Klay Thompson, I know that if I stay, that's like, when I say guaranteed, I mean you're guaranteed a trip to the Western Conference Finals for sure, without a doubt. And then you're going to be the favorites in that, no matter what happens, no matter what, if you consider staying there. My early thing with Klay Thompson was always, well, he going to go to the Lakers. And I'm not one of these type of people that's like, oh, well, he going to go to the Lakers because his daddy is Michael Thompson. He used to play for him and all stuff, and all he get to play with LeBron. It's just he's able to be a max player and go somewhere where there can be some more success. And the fact that he already got, 3? He got 3 rings. So it's one of them things where it's like, okay, if he's satisfied with that success, but I'm telling you, when you talk about, they claim that they wasn't chasing that 70 whatever win season, right? They wasn't trying to break that record, but they lied. They broke it, right? Yeah. Huh? They broke that, right? Do you think that they would even think about winning 6 in the modern era plus as a team, as a core?
See, so then I think it boils that back down to personality. So it just kind of depends on. I mean, again, if we try to put ourselves in the minds of the players, Curry's locked in. He's a warrior for life. Draymond, I believe, if he sits down and really looks at himself, this system is perfect for him. Him outside of the system could be super problematic.
Right.
Klay Thompson, where else can you win 3 rings, get the 4 championships, still have the ability to make money, play a role that is perfect for your skill set anywhere? They're gonna be asking you to do too much.
Right.
And it's like, and even if you can't do it, why would you want to?
Right. Like dribble.
So then Durant. Does Durant really does he really want to stay in the shadow? I mean, and this is a guy who is 2-time NBA Finals MVP, and he's playing in the shadow. Like, that's a huge deal. And then it's like, okay, so if he's doing that, is he really saying to himself, I gotta go win by myself to legitimize who I am in this NBA thing? Like, he's on legacy type level and trying to get that life for him. So I don't know. And then DeMarcus Cousins just trying to get paid.
Oh,
so yeah. If the Warriors happen to be that team that's going to pay him, I don't think he has an issue. But it'll come down to Durant. What does he want to do? I don't think that those guys hate winning. I think they love winning. And I think they'd be willing to stay together.
Well, I mean, I think that's spot on all that all that commentary. I think that it's a decision that Durant would have to make. You know, it's kind of almost like that decision that came down with LeBron, except LeBron was not on a successful team. Like the Cavaliers was not successful. It wasn't a ready-made, automatic, whatever. But he had to go out on a limb to say, man, if I move into this new situation is going to severely impact how probable it is for me to win another ring and possibly another Finals MVP. Kevin Durant go to another team that's not already a contender. He goes to the New York Knicks. It's an uphill battle. Porzingis already gone. Front office is trash. You really are just saying, hey, you know, I'm going for the namesake of the team in the city. Cool. You might be able to bring some other cats there with you at the very least, maybe a Kyrie. But what does that combination look like? And can those two guys fit? So if Durant, if he ain't worried about legitimizing nothing, he, like you say, he a bit of a prick, especially when it comes to that concept of I ain't got nothing to prove and I don't care and blah, 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 blah. Well, then what he got to move along for? All he got to do is make sure that it's enough money. That's all he got to really do is make sure that everybody cool with the money. I could see Boogie staying if somebody left. If Durant leaves or if Clay leaves, I can see Boogie staying right there. He can get used to winning. It work. He fits in that system. He out in Oakland. Oakland crazy. He crazy. So it's just, you know, it's you know, if he got to get a little crazy out, he can go out them Oakland streets, get a little wild if he need to, you know. But the point of the matter is that yeah, Boogie, they said that he was a 1 year quote unquote rental at the minimum, and then he's gonna go out and get his money. I think he's putting on a great audition. I believe somebody pays him, and I believe a situation comes up right. But it's gonna be interesting to see which person leaves from Golden State, or they pull the royal flush on us and sign everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I am one who enjoys greatness. So I'm not gonna be one of those fans that's like, they brought everybody back. This is terrible for the league. I'm like, step up and do something. Right. Figure it out. Go beat them. Like it's just like with Tom Brady. Beat them. Beat them. I'm okay with him winning another ring. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Back had a side. Like I'm fine with that.
Right.
Count
these rings. Count these rings. So yeah, we want to bring back by popular demand the ultimate hustler. For all those out there that don't know, there's somebody in the sports world getting over like a supreme champion, and not always on the field or the court. So who's you thinking about in your mind since you had brought it back up to me?
There was definitely a name that has been on my mind like for the last 3 or 4 days, and that's Joakim Noah. He's still getting paid. What is going on? Like, I was, because I do daily fantasy from time to time. I was looking at it, was like, Joakim Noah is questionable. For what? Why is he still on a roster? I don't know how much he's getting paid, but the fact that he is getting paid is complete lunacy.
I believe he's with the Grizzlies, right?
Is he with the Grizzlies?
He's with the Grizzlies. He's with the he's with the. I believe he's with the Grizzlies. He was told to stay at the house by the Knicks after the Knicks gifted him that contract in free agency, whenever that was last summer, whenever that was, gifted him a contract. And I think it's one of these type of things, Doc, where it's like this. It's like this. I'm pretty sure there's somebody else out there it's probably a better candidate, but Joakim Noah is indeed an ultimate hustler because he's getting multi-million dollars right now to do absolutely nothing. And then if you put the guy on the court and you say, shoot this free throw, shoot this jumper, you would think that you was looking at, I mean, it's almost perverse. Like, it's whatever. You know, I would hate to think, you know, at some point in time, Joakim Noah was a good pro. And I think that if you put him in a vacuum, blocking shots, rim protecting, rebounding, then you're good. You know what I'm saying? Right. But as soon as anything happened where it got outside of that, or, you know, guys were getting more athletic, you know, not that because he was more of a non-traditional big man in terms of being able to run the floor, how he was built back to the basket type play. But when these other guys are coming in 6'11", 6'10", 7 foot, and they playing like guards, there's nothing he can do. You can't, if you stretch him out on defense, he looks crazy. You blow right by him, he's fouling, he's whatever. And it's one of them things, dog. It's almost like we would have to start. We could save this for another time. The fall off the cliff squad, because him, little bitty Isaiah Thomas, I'm talking about like their value went from bow to, I mean, man, it's bad. Like it's bad. But Joakim Noah, he's getting a free paycheck from Memphis right now. They need to be growling. Right. The Grizzlies need to be growling. You need to quit worrying about getting rid of Gasol and Conley, and you should have been worried about how to figure out how to pay him and his partner in crime, Chandler Parsons.
Right. And I was just, you took the words right out of my mouth. He is this year's Chandler Parsons, who I still believe is getting paid.
Heck yeah, he get. They talking about he questionable. They talking about he coming back. They was talking about him making his season debut, and I'm like, who cares?
Why these guys even mentioned?
Who cares?
I mean, obviously nobody will be Bobby Bonilla. Nobody will be him. He is the prime minister, king of Hustle Street. This guy is still getting paid. Ain't picked up a bat in 20 years.
Wait. I don't want you to expound on that no more. We got to say that we're going to do an Ultimate Hustler episode where we talk about some of like the top 5 Ultimate Hustlers of all time. If he's the prime minister, I'm going to have to hear his whole story because I know exactly who Bobby Bonilla is. He's one. It took a long time for me, like, why does brother look like a brother? His name Bonilla. I don't understand, but he was coming from across the water a long time ago. But you'll have to explain that. But yeah, Joakim Noah, definitely. We'll give him the Ultimate Hustler of the Week. And we'll go ahead and pop that up on the screen. Hopefully, if it's not popping up on the screen as I'm saying this right now, then that's just us being unprofessional. But I'll try to pop it up on the screen. I'll just try to pop it up on the screen. But any final thoughts so it won't get long? Because I don't want my wife to, I don't want no problem. Any final thoughts for this week? Anything you're looking up forward to? Anything?
No, just more basketball and more James Harden putting up 40 points and 30-point streaks, right? And them still losing.
Right.
Shout out to the Rockets.
Shout out to the Rockets. Well, yeah, I guess I may watch the All-Star game. I always tune into the dunk contest just because I got to. Okay. But I'll watch all that just to see. I'm in full basketball mode now that we out of football. I'm gonna be trying to check in on this American Football Alliance or American Alliance Football. San Antonio won their first game, and they had a highlight. Dude sacked the quarterback, blew his helmet off. Like it was like, okay, I might need to see what's up. Might have to catch a game or two this season. Going to the Alamo Dome and catch some semi-pro football.
Free ticket. I need the free ticket. I can't pay the $5.
I guarantee you, we probably gonna be able to find some free ones somewhere. You dust them up, But
waiting on the Pizza Hut special.
Buy 2 larges, get season tickets for free.